Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Highway to the Zemus Zone round of 16. Oh man, we are getting deep into this. This is Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, and we've got an exciting race. Part a game two and a best 2 out of 3 between Soleras and Nightdew. My name is Rex Raoul. I'm joined in the commentary booth with Sorbius. Sorbius, looks like we've got a clean start today.
Yeah, Kane is an excellent hero. A little bit on the fast side, but that's not always a bad thing. It lets you kind of power through the early overworlds by just being that much faster and everything. Plus, lots of really good weaponry for Kane potentially lying around in Evelyn Castle, Watery Pass, etc.
Yeah, a lot of goodies to make him better late, a lot of speed to make him good early. He does start out with a pretty, like his initial gear is a little weak, but as you said, a lot of places in the early game to try to get him up to speed really quickly. And let's take a look at our objectives that we've got. And remember, we have to complete 4 out of 5. The first 3 are the same in every race. The final 2, we've got the Vanilla Crystal Sword Altar, and we've got a boss hunt in Odin. What do you think about these objectives?
Well, we got three objectives, or two objectives rather, gated by the darkness, and two boss hunts. This could be a really, really jetty seed.
It could be either a really jetty seed or a really long one. I mean, boss hunts are just kind of up in the air as far as how long it takes to find them, right?
Absolutely. I think given the second moon objective, Forge is probably unlikely, which is a shame, because Kane's Forge weapons are all extremely good.
Yeah, I don't think the runners would be too upset if they happen to find both the Legend of the Adamant and be able to get one of those Super Smith weapons for them. Of course, as I said, 4 out of 5 of the objectives completed. The first 3 the same, and everyone defeat Wyvern for that second boss hunt. Complete Cave Bahamut, which is interesting in this flag set because it will not yield a key item because we do not have case summonons. So the summon boss locations of which Bahamut is one. Clearly, we don't, and it looks like we've got kind of a reverse start and a lot of Cecils in this room.
Yeah, you'll reverse vanilla start. And we got a package, which is interesting. That could immediately get us a decent third character, too.
That's another vanilla thing here. So Kane and Cecil with the package. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if we head up to Miss pretty early to check out who that character is.
Yeah, I would love to find a white mage there. Tella, I guess. Even like Palom would be pretty good. Sid. Most
Yeah,
characters not named Edward actually would be pretty good here from this package.
I tend to agree, but the question is like, which characters will the runners think it's worth investing the time in? We see Nightdew going into Baron to check first. That's something that I think he's doing a lot in this event. So we do see Atella is available in the sea behind some dark imps and another unknown boss in Baron.
Well, Young's probably not worth the package cutscene. I like this play from Nightdew. I like knowing who I have available without having to do the package cutscene before going and committing to that.
Yeah, and just here in the front of Baron, there's quite a bit of chest in a pretty close proximity, so you're still able to do it. And the knowledge of where these Gear 3 items are in shops, as they are in Baron in this seat, as Nightdew found out, is pretty good information to have as well. Meanwhile, Soleras heading over into Castle.
Yeah, this play makes a lot of sense. Pretty decent shot at finding like a Gungnir spear, maybe getting lucky and finding a white spear. Even an ogre axe would be a huge pickup. Ooh, and a curse ring.
Yeah, as well as an additional siren. So already getting some decent loot here in this check here. Meanwhile, likely going to another place known for its good loot in the Watery Pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Not hitting quite as hard though. Well, it's a Stardust though. That's a pretty good J item to pick up.
Yeah, and a Dragoon shield at least is a very good defensive item for Kane, so long as you're not using a two-ended weapon such as the Avenger or like a poison axe or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we've seen any of the traps yet in Evelyn Castle. I wonder if they're double curse ring too.
There
There's
we
a
are.
trap
There's
chest.
yeah.
One
A
of
black
the
shirt will be good if a black mage shows up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the nice things about Kane is he has so much agility and manipulation gear available to him. You can make him endgame whatever speed you need him to be. So like having that curse ring is pretty big, especially if we find a drain spear. Now we can actually have a slow anchor if we want, or through a crystal ring and an assassin dagger to start a fight on that Kane, and he is zooming places.
Yeah, it is really nice to have options and just know what's available to you. Um, that could be really big. Depending, they find most of them. There is that drain spear that you mentioned. So yeah, we've got a cursed spear and a or cursed ring and a drain spear, both on Soleras' side. So that could be one way to go, provided he's got enough firepower between the other characters that are available to see to finish off the Zemus fight. That's going to be a big thing way down the line. But we've got a lot of race before that.
Yeah, absolutely. If this turns into a hook route, being able to anchor with Kane could certainly help get through that too. And he picked up an ice brand, not the best weapon for Kane, but it'll do for this overworld.
Definitely better than his spear that he starts
Yeah,
with. That's
absolutely. Most things are, turns out.
uh, not great. Um, we do see
Ooh,
Nightdew now
back of
heading.
watery pass though with an hourglass.
Nightdew now in Damsian Castle, doing a little bit of looting, additional looting there as well. Finding a black sword for his Cecil. That's going to make Dark Knight Cecil quite a bit more formidable in these overworld fights before he becomes a paladin.
Yeah, Soleras following in his footsteps, I guess, thinking he hasn't quite found enough J items and that kind of stuff yet.
Yeah, this team not really known for their firepower early. They once they get some levels and some gear, they become very strong, and especially once you transform Cecil. But in the beginning, like that Stardust that was found is something that could be very useful for getting through a boss, and then that might be able to get some levels on Kane, and then with the gear, he might be able to handle it after that. But yeah, having a couple J items and that vampire found in Damsian, another good one to have in your pocket for these early bosses.
Well, I got bad news. One of our free fights is off the table. That's Water Hag chilling in the waterfall spot.
Well, it is appropriate. It does like water, it seems. It looks like Solera is heading down into Antlion Cave before checking the character up on Mount Hobbs where Nightdew is heading.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of XP here, so you're not really denying your Hobbs character very much by hitting this first. And if you think you have the power to just do it, it might also make the Hobbs fight easier for Kane to have a few levels going into it.
Well, it looks like you do not have to go through Baron in order to get Old Man Tella on your team. All you have to do is defeat some Mega Sisters here, and that Stardust should be able to take out, if not all of them, pretty close to all of them.
Yeah, Stardust taking it down.
Now Tella on the squad, that opens up a lot. Both Tella and Cecil in the squad. That's telling me we're definitely heading up Mount Ordeals. That's got to be a priority for the runners.
Yeah, we're not doing a whole lot with either of them until we get that ordeals taken care of. Interestingly, because that Hobbs character is exactly Tella, Soleras getting a little punished for doing Antlion first. He won't be able to exit out of here.
And
Just getting the spoon, not exciting.
Nightdew able to loot West Mount Hobbs and exit out after that. Does get an Ogre Axe, and that's equipped like Kane. That's a pretty decent weapon at the start of the game.
Yeah, it's pretty equivalent to the Ice Brand that Soleras has, so there's not really a weapon advantage yet. They both have the Black Sword, and they both have something decent for Kane to use.
Now, Nightdew taking Soleras' steps and heading over. Going to be sad to see that spoon. If we do find an edge, it does have some use for sure with that dart ability. Soleras face checking that water hag. Oh, there's also an illusion in the chest that Nightdew just opened in Antlion Cave. With these J items not available in shops, every single one of them is like super valuable. You want to use it, and having access to an illusion, with us knowing that the Bahamut Cave boss is required, that's a very strong physical attack location, and being able to blink up one of your characters basically for free could be very useful.
Yeah, especially that Cecil with his cover ability. That is
Mm.
probably going to come in clutch when we get to that point of the game. And Soleras killing these Manga Sisters probably in the same way. Well, maybe not.
Looks like Soleras might think that he's got enough firepower to dispatch them without using it right now, but it does mean that it's going to be a little bit longer of a fight than Nightdew had.
Yeah, and not extremely risky, but a little risky. With Sandy casting Charm as soon as she is alone, which
And
can't hit Cecil because he has a wall up, but potentially hitting Cecil and him killing everyone in the party.
looks like Sandy's spells are missing here, so that just makes the rest of the fight go easily for Soleras. Wonder if he's going to decide to loot Westmount House as well. Um, Meanwhile, Nightdew now heading over to Fapul. We're going to get a check to see who's the boss in the Gauntlet location, and there is another key item location check here. I think this check is going to be a little bit of experience so that the ordeals bosses won't be as difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. The more XP you can get on that cane before you try to go up ordeals, the better. And
And
the
how about
double at
this?
Fabul.
Yeah, we got a D-Mist, of course, with the flag set that we have. Once you defeat D-Mist wherever it is hiding, you can return to Mist Village, talk to Rydia's mom, and have another key item check. So that's going to be one of these. It's not a boss hunt as far as the objectives go, but it's always a boss hunt in that sort of um, game, and the hide and seek of the D-Mist. So getting that out of the way has got to make our runners feel a little bit comfortable that they don't need to keep that in the back of their mind with all the bosses out there.
Yeah, absolutely. As a runner, I love to see demist as early as possible because I do not want to have to keep in the back of my mind, oh, this random key item that gates a boss could be required only because demist is behind it, or oh, demist could be up on the giant and it could be required. So yeah, this is good. This feels really good.
So it's definitely going to be annoying when you have to wait through that mist phase. Nightdew not quite able to beat it before it transformed, but we got there in the end. Soleras trying to get a recall to work, but hits stone. That's not going to work on D-Mist. But now we're going to get that key item check for Nightdew.
Just a dragon web.
Yeah, it could be useful if we find Iridia and you want to use her as a physical attacker, but I don't think that's necessarily in the cards because we do have Cecil and Kane who are more than capable of doing the physical attacks. And so if you get Rydia, you probably want to use her for the summon magic. Especially in this event, we've been seeing a lot of Leviathans be cast.
Yeah, turns out when you turn off J items in shops, most of the tier 5 item shop items that are left are summon orbs, specifically Leviathan and elixirs. And the shop on the hook route is guaranteed to have 2 tier 5 consumables. So it almost
Yeah,
always has Leviathan.
and the fact that that's available so frequently in these seeds is something that's really been a bit of a renaissance for Rydia. So um, that's one of the things that like you tweak flags here and there, and what characters become the most valuable can change quite a bit. There is a hook, so we do have a potential hook route behind that D-Mist now. We still have a potential to find a Magma Key up on Mount Ordeals or in the Baron Inn, or of course it could be some chain that leads to it. But as of right now, we are looking at a hook route.
Yeah, not the worst party for it.
Absolutely not. You're right. Yeah.
I prefer maybe a real white mage over Tella, but this will do. He'll have Berserk, he'll have Blink.
And of course, there is another character check along the hook route as well. So
Yes.
that's interesting. And one thing is, looks like Nightdew is heading straight to Mount Ordeals, wants to get that out of the way. The other option would be to make a dip into Evelyn Cave. It has a pretty good loot tier, like the chance of getting higher tier loot is good in Evelyn Cave. It's got that shop that you talked about and that character check. Those are things that you could get before you go to Mount Ordeals, should you choose. But the flip side is you'd have to make like two runs through it. And Nightdew, I think, is if this is a hook required thing, I think Nightdew wants to do that all in one go. I think that's the play that Nightdew's making right now.
Yeah, for sure. But there is a lot of value potentially in hitting that character check first, because then they get all the XP from doing said Mount Ordeals. You have exit on Tella, so you're really
Yeah.
only losing half a walk down the hook route. And you could even save outside and just reset out of a character that's a dupe or someone you don't want to take, and save even a few more seconds on that. It looks like Soleras is making that play and giving us the hook route character.
Yeah, it's interesting that we see that divergence in strategies because I think they're both valid, and either one could pay off as better than the other. Like if this back attack spot here on Mount Ordeals is very difficult, then this could really reward Soleras. And if that character is not good or is like a duplicate Cecil or something like that, then the time spent could give a big advantage to Nightdew. So it's really interesting like that.
Yeah, the other interesting thing would be if Ordeals actually has that magma key and Nightdew,
Yes.
for some reason, doesn't ever make it down to check this character, and this is, say, an Edge, or Rosa, or a very valuable character like that.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about the speculation of free enterprise. It's like these unknowns that become known as like unraveled as the seed goes on, and you can kind of like you can't fault either runner for making the decision that they're making right now. But in the end, you'll be able to think like, oh, if Nightdew would have done this, or if Soleras would have done that, how would the seed of unfolded? And ooh, it is a duplicate. Ooh, and that is a nasty boss at the hook route in Kainatsu.
Yeah, not really what you want to see with this party. Certainly a durable party in the sense, but they don't have a way to really front load a whole lot of damage, which is what you want to do. To Turtle Man at high HP spots is get those waves down as fast as possible. So we're gonna have to do some Thor Rage shenanigans to get through that boss.
Yeah, and unless either Mount Ordeals um, or Baron Inn gives a key item like a Sand Ruby or a Baron Key or an Earth Crystal, we just have duplicates. Like this party is what you're at right now if there's no progression. So this could be very challenging because there's a limited number of Thor Rages, remember, as well.
Yeah, I think 10 should be enough, but it's going to be kind of a rough fight if this is the team we have.
That Ice Brand could be a very useful way to get through that fight as well, because when the water is not raised on Kainatsu, he is weak to ice. So that is something that they can employ.
Yeah, that'll definitely help out a little bit. I mean, we also have a Thunderclaw, and we do know where we can get a Yang at that package. That might be something that appeals to either of the runners too, given that we now have a hook route. They may wait till it's guaranteed that it's a hook route, though. And I wouldn't blame them for doing that.
Nightdew now in the solo fight room after dispatching of the CPU and the evil wall up on Mount Ordeals. Did not have many trouble with that. And here is the key item. It is a rat tail, so that is a potential. This could still be leading to the rat tail, and looks like we've got one form of Mylon up here.
Yeah, it's like the Mylon Z flavor. Big Mom will take care of that. I don't know if Nightdew has it, but Soleras has a Flame Spear. He may just use that and save the J item if he also has the Big Bomb.
Yeah, it looks like
weak to. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying Nightdew seems to be a little bit more liberal in the usage of those J items to get through some of these early fights faster. Kind of banking on the fact that his team's going to just be strong enough to get through the bosses without needing them through the mid part of the game.
Yeah, certainly could be the case. But there could be things like, I don't know, say a gauntlet at the King Queen Evelyn spot where maybe you would have liked to have held on to that Stardust like Soleras did.
That's interesting. Nightdew has apparently found a lot of arrows, but no bows. So unable to back row glitch Cecil. So if he's gonna be doing his damage, it's got to be in the front row right now. Um, Once a bow is located, or like a dwarf axe, he'll be able to do his full damage from the back row. Uh, all you have to do is equip it once, and then unequip it, and he'll retain that ability. It's one of the things that's um, present in vanilla Final Fantasy IV, that there isn't a flag to remove that as of yet.
Why would there be a flag to remove intended functionality?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you equip Cecil with a bow and arrow, and unequip it. The developers say, yeah, he should still be able to do range damage like us with a sword.
That just makes sense, right? Soleras did not show us the shop on the hook route, so it'll be interesting to see when Nightdew gets there what is in that shop. We might find a samurai bow or something like that. Oh, or a twin harp from the
He
rat
did
tail.
actually check the weapons and items. I do believe there was a samurai bow in there.
Oh, okay, well that would be a good pickup for either of them when they get back down there.
Yeah, I think Archer Cecil is something that isn't nearly as bad or dire as people might think. He's not a bad archer at all. We see Nightdew dropping off um, that hovercraft where it needs to be, and then it's going to head over to Baron to complete that in. He knows that the Dark Imps are going to be the first fight, and he knows there's no character check. But when you've got that hook route looming, you're always going to be looking for that magma key, aren't you?
Magma Key, or in this case, just access to some more characters and some more power. Earth Crystal here would be probably the next best thing you could find after a Magma Key. Or a Baron Key, even. Just something to get somebody else on this team.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Looks like um, some of the positioning might not be quite ideal for Nightdew right now. Cecil has a poison axe, and I believe the ogre axe is on Kane. Both of those kind of would like to be in the middle position for the accuracy boost, but you can't have more than one character in the same position. So Cecil is the one who's going to be ended up having a little bit of a accuracy misfire. Um, I think this is one of the things that you were talking about, Nightdew. Now we've got these dolls here. If that big bomb or that Stardust was still in Nightdew's inventory, that would be an easy way to dispatch of these very.
Yeah, potentially gonna see a big doll here, maybe. I don't know that Tella has any plus black magic gear, so this Lit 3 might not kill all the dolls. And Cecil certainly isn't going to kill any of the dolls.
Well, not the blue dolls, at least. The blue dolls, of course, having more HP than the red dolls. But looks like we're down to just one. I think they're going to be okay because this spot
Yeah,
is
Kane
pretty
got
slow.
a turn because it punched, so we're good.
Oh,
That's a
you want an
darkness
important
crystal.
item. Yeah, we were saying at the top of the broadcast how we have two location or two objectives that require the darkness crystal. So getting that is going to be a big relief for Nightdew. And I imagine Soleras is going to be there not too long after this.
Yeah. In this position, in Nightdew's position, I want to go to the moon, check that character. If it's anybody even remotely decent, I'm doing that package, picking up Yang, and I'm going to do my grind right now.
I can see it if it's Rosa or Porum,
Right.
but I think I might still be on the lookout. Remember, this is so Nightdew's heading to Cape Evelyn right now. This is his first time in there, so he's gonna
Yeah, he
get the
doesn't
bad
know
news
about
that
the
his
dupe
duplicate
Tella.
here. Yeah, because
Uh,
Nightdew might be on the same plan as you.
yeah, even a Rydia or a Palom on the moon, just somebody else that really benefits from a slingshot, and I'll go pick up Yang, and I'll figure out Zeromas later. And Soleras is also through the Baron infights, getting
Oh, he
his
just
Darkness
got
Crystal. Oh, sorry, just the dolls, or just the dims.
yeah. He used that big bomb there. Does he have any? Oh, he's got to use the hourglass here. Um, the blue dolls in the back are susceptible to stop, so this will prevent the big doll from coming. But you still need to knock them all out. And I
Yeah,
think the big doll here would be pretty scary. It's a pretty fun, punchy location.
it's got a lot of health, and yeah, it's definitely very punchy. Although he has his characters in the back row, so that wouldn't be quite as big a deal since Kane actually has some armor on.
Nightdew now getting a taste of what's going on here, knowing that it's the Kane Adso and a duplicate Tella. He's not resetting yet. He might want to be ready to loot afterwards, and also maybe just to get this cutscene out of the way, so that if it does end up being a hook route, he doesn't have to watch this like wait here again.
Yeah, I mean that can also on the hook route also personally would incentivize me to grind early and grind often.
Yeah, that's a good point. That definitely does incentivize getting more levels because that is not an easy fight. But I think at this level, like I'd be surprised if these runners haven't either seen or practiced this in the past. Um, like Nightdew's going to want to at least try these Stalemen. Oh yeah, that yeah, Ogre
Yeah, we
Axe.
got an ogre axe and a poison axe, so we
Yeah.
got everything we need to kill some giants. Well, Soleras buying Ether Ones and Baron, he is definitely prepared to grind.
So many curse strings in the seat. Another one given for that Staleman fight. So um, I know that Soleras found some earlier. That might be Nightdew's first, but both runners have access to that agility manipulation, should they like it.
Yeah, interestingly, Soleras sold his Drain Spear, removing his access to very low agility gain, um, which may or may not matter, but you know, if you get a Supersmith weapon, it doesn't really matter if Kane starts cursed as far as his damage output. Um, you know, and having better agility for Zeromus is always, well, better than having worse agility.
Soleras is, in fact, raising the big whale, has those ethers in hand, wants to check that character on the moon. And we'll see how soon it is before Soleras decides to go for a grind. Um, we'll see if
Oh,
he
excuse me.
decides to get that yang.
Yeah, it's going to depend a lot on who is on the moon, whether you sit
Yeah.
through that cutscene. If it's a dupe Tella, maybe not. I think you then try the hook route with who you have. But you know, if it's anyone else that we can slingshot, I think that's going to be his play. Oh, before
Now,
mentioning Soleras had multiple Drain Spears. Maybe he hadn't sorted them, and still has one somewhere in his inventory.
ooh, Edge on the Moon. That's a spicy meatball. Looks like Nightdew does want to sit through the cutscene, wants that yang in the party too.
I think he's doing what Soleras is doing in the reverse order.
Yeah, but that's interesting. Nightdew says, I want this yang without knowledge of who that character on the moon is. So I it might be that he knows that this is the fourth character and he wants to get as many characters as possible before diving down that hook route. Now, the other side of the coin is that Twin Harp is still there as a potential place where the magma key could be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's
Yeah,
Soleras going through the cave. Bahamut wants to get a peek at what that boss is.
yeah, I think this is a good play too. You know, if this is King Queen Evelyn, like maybe you skip doing your grind, just take your free XP on these characters and use that to power through the hook route and steal some sirens.
Yeah, Edge opens up a lot of possibilities for this team. Not committing to a grind right now in case you see something
Well,
better, but that is a lunar spark.
Plague might be doable. I don't think any of the other ones are going to be. Well, it
Is
is
plague.
Plague.
Still think that countdown might just be a bit too much to handle right now. Soleras not going to give it a shot. Nightdew still in this cutscene for Yang. Like, no joke, this is one of the longest things that you can wait for in free enterprise.
Yeah, right up there with music. So back to what I was talking about with Kane, you can put the Curse Ring and Drain Spear on Kane, and then Berserk everybody, and that Plague's counts will never go off. Assuming you can get enough Berserks cast with Tela fast enough. I mean, it'd take a minute, but that Plague was definitely doable as is.
Looks like Soleras not interested in risking it. Is going to a shop in Mist. I believe has checked this before, so is probably like long swords. Is my guess is what he's buying here. It could be something else, but yeah, long swords are available. I got
And
a
a
crossbow
crossbow
to
to- Yep.
backrow glitch Cecil too. So yeah, pretty good. Had that boomerang in the inventory, equipped it before selling it. So Edge's backrow glitch as well. Pretty nice to have that on your part. Nightdew about to check the character, and that's a duplicate Yang in the Sand Ruby spot. So unless I missaw that, it was pretty quick, but I think it was Yang. And well, you don't have the Sand Ruby, so if you want Yang right now, you do have to go through that cutscene.
Interesting. Soleras not picking up Young and going to do music.
Yeah, because it might be a moot point if this ends up being the Magma Key this way.
It's true.
And might be thinking, I want to do this either way. If this doesn't give me anything I want, then I could pick up Yang and slingshot him.
Yeah, it's a fair point. If you assume your opponent's not going to do this, if this comes up Magma Key, you are way ahead, even if you end up behind the grind.
I see a Kainatsu at Rubicant, and I'm going to check everywhere that I can for a Magma Key before doing that, especially with just Tella and 10 Thor rages as how to get through to break those waves.
Yeah, and I think Soleras is looking at it that same way. I'm looking at it from Nightdew's perspective, which is there's a Kanatsu in the hook route. I have access to do a grind with 2 slingshots. I'm just going to go do that.
Yeah, and I can respect that reasoning too. It's one of those things where it's like, if that is the plan, then you're kind of just like, I think you're going to be pretty far behind if Soleras finds that Magma Key. But that's a one in what? How many key item spots plus are left? Chance, it that's kind of the odds that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, it's not great odds for this to have exactly the Magma Key,
Right.
but Soleras doesn't know the Sand Ruby is a Yang, but thinking like this could be a Sand Ruby for a better character than Yang, this could be Earth Crystal, Baron. We'll pick this conversation up after music.
Yeah, it's time for us to be quiet for a little bit so that y'all can listen to a little bit more of DJ Spoonie B's rockin' tunes. Well, I hope you all liked a little bit of Final Fantasy IX friendly encounter music. That was pretty sweet. We saw some interesting tech on both screens while that music was happening. Let's see this key item here. It is the pan. It is not the magma key. We are on a hook route now. Um, but using that mute bell to disable the counters from the Baron guards, very smart. And now it's firing off a siren. Looks like he wants to steal some Bacchus wines from an ogre. Meanwhile, Nightdew going into trap chest on the lunar path to get these cells that we generally call the hair dryers for a little bit of an XP boost. Got a protect ring out of it too, so really interesting on both sides of the screen.
Yeah, I wonder if this edge has Nightdew thinking he is not going to do a giant grind right now, since he just got those extra levels on Cecil and Yang, who could have slingshot otherwise.
I think both of them are thinking about that Keinatsu fight and wanting to get through it as quickly as possible. And they're both doing it in different ways. Having access to Bacchus's can help get damage on Keinatsu a lot quicker. And the wave attack, which is the scariest attack that Keinatsu does, the amount of damage it does is based on Keinatsu's current HP. So if you're able to whittle them down faster, the less damage those waves are and the less scary they'll be. Means you need to time fewer 4 rages in order to break that water. So it's on that, and plus, and then on Nightdew's side, getting more levels means you're stronger and can take them down faster too. So they're kind of two sides of the same coin if the goal is getting past that Keinatsu.
Yeah, I think it's part of this. What Soleras is doing, stealing his Bacchus wines, is specifically to get through that Kinazu fight as quickly as possible.
We'll see if Nightdew wants to go
extra Bacchus for good measure.
We'll see if Nightdew wants to go to the cave Magnus as well. That's also pretty heads up, Soleras, knowing that using that siren right there outside of the room is going to yield a fight that has the ogre in it, because that's the encounter that you want, an encounter with an ogre to get that Bacchus wine to be stolen. Sometimes you'll see it on trap chests, the Mad Ogre chest in either Evelyn Castle or the Upper Babel has Mad Ogres in it, and you can steal Bacchus from that.
Yeah, the Ogre in Cave Magnus a little easier to steal from than the Mad Ogres is
yeah.
The
It's kind of like
that earlier.
Yeah, kind of like a little bit of opportunity, like to do it right there. Since I'm in Cave Magnus anyways, might as well do it. Like it's all about knowing that siren is going to do there, because otherwise you could fumble around, turn on random encounters for a while, and just hope that you eventually get that ogre encounter. Looks like Soleras going to also go to trap chest, but going to Castle Evelyn to get some experience. These encounters aren't as lucrative experience-wise as the fight that we saw Nightdew take on the moon, but it is still, these Mad Ogres in particular are a pretty decent chunk of experience right now.
Yeah, also these trap chests, at least equally weighted to, if not better weighted than a lot of the moon chests. Certainly for how easy they are to take on at this point for Soleras. Very, very likely to give him decent gear. Although he got a black shirt, not exactly what you wanted.
With those extra levels infused in Nightdew's team right now, these Mad Ogres are not nearly as scary as they could be. Like, I don't think that they're particularly difficult for Soleras, but I think Nightdew is going to find them even easier. But yeah, just that black shirt, not great. Looks like that might be the only encounter that Soleras is interested. We'll see if he goes back in to fight. There's also the four skulls in one Staleman fight and the Lamia Black Cat, Lamia 2 Black Cat fight.
It looks like Soleras is going to do some equipping and wanted to make sure to get a save after doing that. Moving heavy armor over to Cecil for cover and some more strength gear over to Kane for damage. We got a flame coming out on Nightdew's side to hopefully take care of all these skulls. So he sure is taking his sweet time to cast it. There we go.
Well, he's not really. I mean, he knows some spells, but I wouldn't call him a mage.
If Kane's a spear mage, is Edge a dart mage?
Oh, samurai arrows are probably not really the prize you're looking for from a trap chest.
No, you're open for minimum, I think, a defense sword from these chests.
Unfortunate, the charm from the Lamia hitting on Cecil. That's not that great.
I think the fight will be over before it makes too much of a difference, though.
Especially if Cecil's spending his time casting Keep.
Alright, let's find out what this last chest is. There we go. That's what we were looking for.
That is quite a prize. I often say that this is Kane's ultimate weapon. It can be used by, of course, both Cecil and Kane. It does require two hands, so no shield while you're using it. It gives auto berserk status. It also means that Cecil can't cover while doing it. Kane can't jump while doing it. But that auto berserk, the bonus to strength, it is quite a strong one.
Yeah, it's certainly helpful getting through this Kanazo fight. Again, you know, to reduce the damage from those waves, you want to hit as hard and fast as you possibly can. And getting to start the fight already berserked is a great way to do that.
Absolutely, and Nightdew now in that Black Cat Lamia fight, so is assuming that he's successful in this fight, and I believe he will be, will also be rewarded with that Avenger, and then both of them are going to be ready to take on this hook route. When they get under the ground, assuming that that is Nightdew's next stop, and I can't imagine after doing all these grinding that he's thinking about anything else. When we get to the underground, Soleras is going to be armed with a pan while Nightdew is not. That's kind of the difference in their runs right now.
Yeah, it really depends, you know, as far as who's ahead at the moment. It's going to depend a lot on how much value that pan has.
Yeah.
And how easily it is for Soleras to get a different fifth character than that Yang at the package.
Right. Yeah, that's the other big difference. That taking the time to get the Yang for Nightdew's team. And I know there was that Thunderclaw that we saw. Does Nightdew have the full suite of elemental claws? Because if you can equip both a Lightning Claw or a Thunderclaw and an Ice Claw on Yang, he can do pretty good damage against Kainatsu, whether or not the water is on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen him pick up an Ice Claw, but he certainly might have one.
Yeah, it's very hard to keep track of everything that these runners buy or find in chests, so we might miss something every now and then, but we try to do our best to know what we know. 3 curse rings Nightdew's in this inventory. Man,
yeah,
oh man.
He just picked up the 2 from
the castle.
Evelyn Castle. Yep. Yeah, if our runners could run the seed at the same speed in the same places at the same time, it would make it a lot easier for us to keep track of what they've looted. There was an Ice Claw in the shop there, which I think Nightdew might have purchased.
Now we know Kainatsu is in the second spot here. We do still have a fight in the King Queen Evelyn spot, which is often not a pushover. It's a very strong physical attack location. In Final Fantasy IV, if the boss does not do any physical attacks, chances are it's got very high strength. This is Octomam, and that is one that does attack very strongly.
And quickly. The good news is, if you bop it a few times, it slows way down and becomes quite a bit easier. But your party's got to live long enough to get those hits in.
Yeah, even that heavy armor on Cecil, not enough as he goes down, desperately trying to do as much damage, knowing that there's a free heal afterwards. That Ninja Star being pulled out does quite a bit of damage. The Avenger Kane is still going. Ooh, but Kane now falls. Can another Ninja Star be out? Is that going to be enough to finish off Octomam?
Nope.
Ooh,
No, it is not.
that is rough for Soleras. So both bosses here on this hook route quite difficult. Nightdew is going to have the level and character advantage for this fight, but yeah, that is not an easy duo of bosses.
No, definitely not. Soleras also went in unhealed, and I think on battle speed 1 still. May want to slow this down a little bit. I saw him put the Dwarf Axe on Kane to try and speed up his party members by lowering Kane's agility. We'll see if that makes a difference. Those Ninja Stars definitely doing some work too.
Yeah, I believe the price reduction on those Ninja Stars, making them a lot more like kind of worth the purchase if you've got an edge in your party.
Yeah, we used to call them money stars because there wasn't much else to do with them other than sell them.
Yeah, now it's kind of the other way around. Now buying them, for a fight like this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're not that much less attack than a Drain Spear, which used to be sort of the go-to dart to buy, and they cost slightly less than a Drain Spear now.
Both of our runners now through that Octoman fight. You do get a free heal at Kinatsu, but the question is, this like everybody kind of knows that this is one of the notoriously difficult bosses here. Are our runners going to just go in? Nightdew, no save. Soleras, I see the re-equipping. I don't think Soleras is going to be saving either. Both going right in. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah, that's some good bravery on both sides. I would certainly have gone to save personally.
I think both a Drain Spear, or I think it was a Drain Spear and Cursed Ring for Kane on Nightdew's side as well. Again, this is what you mentioned early in the broadcast about Kane having a lot of agility manipulation equipment in his equipment pool, taking advantage of that to try to make sure that you could get the timings right on getting these Thor Rages or Lits off to keep the wave from blasting your party.
Yeah, I think Nightdew is going to have a little bit easier time with this fight because of that. I mean, also the 5th character in Yang, who has some levels, certainly contributing too.
Yeah, he's definitely better set up for it. Soleras, it's going to be a little bit more tricky, but it's definitely doable with all the tools that they had been given throughout the early part of the seed, because we've got things like that Avenger, the starting hit Thor waves, but that wave does hit.
Oh.
That is a lot of damage.
That is gonna be a wipe, I think, on Soleras' side. Yeah, there's the reset. That is unfortunate.
That means he has to go through that Octoman fight again too.
Yeah, I understand on Nightdew's side not saving necessarily. You have basically an RA1 agility setup with that Kane. So you don't have you know how to do this fight. You just have to hit Kanazo hard and fast and use your Thor Rages for the first couple of waves. It's a little trickier on Soleras' side, not having set up rather that agility before doing the fight.
Yeah. For sure. Take two for Soleras. Nightdew, so far so good in this Konatsu fight.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see Soleras go and save this time after doing Octomam, not wanting to have to do that again.
Hiding in the shell for Nightdew, so that is the final part of Keinatsu's script. When he's low on HP, will hide in his shell and eventually heal himself. But the idea is hopefully you can take him down before he heals.
And we're going straight back in on Soleras' side. All right.
Making use of the Bacchus that he stole. Remember going into using that siren at the bottom of Cave Magnus to get those Bacchus in the inventory. And we believe it was likely for this specific fight.
Yeah, given that he only stole 4 of them, I think he just wanted enough to get through this to start with. Potentially stealing some more later if he needs them.
Yeah, that or like it might be enough to do 2 on this fight and then maybe 2 on the Z fight as well. And you might even need less now with that Avenger in the inventory.
Yeah, that makes one person no longer require Bacchus wines, which is a good place to be.
Nightdew,
Avengers. Sorry.
Nightdew through the fight is remembering to unequip all that agility manipulation gear. I've been known to forget to unequip curse rings from time to time.
Yeah, when it's not Kane who you're expecting to actually contribute to fights, it's not usually the worst thing, and then you just have
Sure.
perfect agility set up going forward. But you probably want Kane to help.
Nightdew
Soleras gonna have to take another shot at this, huh?
This is giving Nightdew a huge lead. The saving grace for Soleras is still that pan that Nightdew doesn't have access to. But right now, I think it would be. I don't think it would be wrong to say that Nightdew has a sizable lead right now.
Yeah, until it's sort of Schrodinger's pan, right? Until we know what that pan turn-in is, we have to assume Nightdew is ahead. But if that pan gives us half a forge, that could be a big advantage for Soleras, depending on where the other half is. If Nightdew skips Twin Harp and therefore that pan and goes straight to the moon after looking around underground for a bit, that could still be Soleras's game to win at that point.
We did also see after defeating Keinatsu, Nightdew did make a quick check at the boss at the top of the tower here, and that was Mom Bomb. I can't imagine that's something that Nightdew would be interested in. Here we see a red robe. We've already seen the Dark Imps, so that must mean that this is Elements here at 4.
It sure is. Weirdly enough, Mylon has a red robe in the Elements sprite set when he has a purple robe by himself for reasons.
Mylon is a fashion icon. Dresses for the occasion.
I think he's just copying Rubicon.
Oh, well, maybe.
The cool element.
Yeah,
the hot element?
Hot.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Alright, take 3 on Kanazo on Soleras' side.
You know what? I think of all the things, I gotta feel like that 5th character is the biggest difference in the 2 fights. Just having somebody else able to ready up those Thor rages. Like, having Tella on the ground here is not ideal. Well, with the other 2 characters berserked, maybe Cecil can always time it. I don't know. It's tough either way.
Yeah, definitely not the spot you want to be in. I mean, also the levels, the extra levels Nightdew had from taking that hairdryer chest, certainly.
Ooh, we've got a Rosa as the character, and there goes Yang. Yeah, I'm always for ditching Yang, and an alt gauntlet here in the 2nd spot.
Well, we'll catch Rosa up on levels at least. Definitely, well, not if she dies, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not the worst gauntlet. Time consuming, but not especially dangerous.
Like every time now, I'm just hoping that this Octoman fight, Soleras just walks back and saves. Like this is really
Yeah.
eating into it. Doing this Octoman fight over, like he's developed a system to get through this fight, very consistently. It seems. However, it's just taking that much more time on each attempt that he's taking at King Odsal to get through this Octoman fight.
Yeah, that definitely can't feel good. Personally, after the second wipe, after the first wipe, I would have gone to save just because, clearly whatever I was trying wasn't working, and I want to be able to save, try something, and then save without having to go through Octoman every time.
I'm of the same mind as you. However, I can see the argument to not save the second time because like you saw it and you might prep for it and like do all your equipment like that. We do now see some battle speed adjustments and everything, so there's making some decisions, but still not saving.
Yeah, the not saving, I think, you're losing more time to the wipes than to not saving, but certainly I think where you'd want to be at this point is dropping that save, especially if you're going to be adjusting equipment and making changes to battle speed and all of that between attempts rather.
Meanwhile, these gauntlet monsters really taken a liking to targeting Rosa.
Yeah, and sadly, Suzzle having that Avenger means he can't cover.
Yeah, they're sniping her like my enemies snipe my kitty cut versus in Storybook Brawl, but now it looks like Nightdew is through the because I believe that 3 Black Lizards is the last fight in this location. And so we're going to get a character, well, not a character check. We got that already, Rosa. Key item checks here.
It was interesting on Nightdew's side, keeping Tella over Yang for that Rosa. I think personally I would have ditched Tella with Edge and access to Bacchus Wines. You don't necessarily need the 2 Berserk casters, and we've seen most of the bosses that become free with Tella, so his utility is starting to dwindle quite a bit unless you're planning on doing a giant grind.
So we get a Luca key here. So the Sealed Cave is now available to Nightdew. I think everything in the other underworld, other than the Pan and the Tower Key, are now open. Gonna go check the pre-chest in the Feymarch.
Yeah, you might as well. You're here. I think we're up to a vanilla count of 4. Chat? Anyone know how much vanilla we've had?
If we include French vanilla, it's going to be quite a bit.
French vanilla and swapped vanilla, yeah.
Ooh, got the rare Artie arrows in the key item chest, but no progression.
No, but we have Cecil. We have access to a bow. We could potentially use those to blend her some eggs.
Hey, I like an archer Cecil just in general. Samurai bow and Artie arrows, sign me up.
I mean, it's better than his other equipment options at the moment. Oh wow, we got a lot of face checking to do down in this Feymarch. That's
Lunars.
the twins. I'm calling Ogopogo in the other spot. What's your
well, then
guess,
then
Rex?
I'll call Demas, or the one that looks like Demas. Failed him. It doesn't even look like Demas. What am I talking about? But no, it is the Wyvern.
We're both wrong.
Oh, and his team just got digested. But Soleras, we've got hiding in the shell. Is this going to be the time?
Yeah, we should be able to get through with the Avenger at this point. Or whatever Tella has casting, which I assume is an Ice 3.
And thank goodness
we go.
Soleras now through. We do see samurai arrows for sale again. Like this Archer Cecil. Well, it's probably gonna be Rosa now for Nightdew, but Archer Cecil is a possibility for sure.
Also a light sword for sale, which could also give Cecil something decent to swing around.
That is an expensive purchase, the lightsaber.
Yeah, as we mentioned though previously, with no J items in shops, there's not a lot of things to spend your money on other than equipment. And seeing as we've cleared out Eblin Castle and didn't really find anything amazing for Cecil, I wouldn't hate that purchase.
If you got the money for it, I think it's worth it. You have to sell most of your inventory for that. And we see, once again, the agility setup that Nightdew used to get through Keinatsu on the first try. I think we're going to attempt this Wyvern fight here at the bottom of the Feymarch right now for Nightdew.
Yeah, I think he's thinking with this Avenger in hand, an edge with some darts. This will be a pretty straightforward fight. Especially if you can make your team RA1, because this fight, or this spot specifically, is extremely fast. I think this is the second fastest spot in the game.
Yeah, like, what, Zemus is faster? That's about it?
Yeah, Zemus is faster, but not by a whole lot, and I think it's tied with the Sealed Cave spot, where they are pretty close. The Vanilla Evil Wall location.
Now, one thing... You can see that Drain Spear draining there. We do see having access to two White Mages means Tella could Berserk while Rosa used a slow. We don't have... You can steal Silk Webs, but you can't buy them. And Nightdew did not steal Bacchus's like Soleras did. So having both of those casters becomes more like something that you'd want to do. And gonna Berserk up Rosa too with those Artie arrows to try to take down the Wyvern as quickly as possible. I kind of like this. Like, this is an all-in strategy.
Yeah, you want to try and take out this Wyvern before you get any nukes coming out, if you can. And that's one way to do it. Just Berserk everybody. And Wyvern actually a dragon, unlike some other dragons who are not dragons. Notably Demist. Not a dragon.
Yeah.
Although I think Rosa still has a short bow, so it's not
Yeah, it's not doing that much damage. It's also not in the center position, so not getting an accuracy bonus. The bows are generally pretty low accuracy in general. But everything that was set up worked out well. Other than that opening digest, was able to avoid any of the nukes by taking out Wyvern before that happened. Gets objective number 1 completed and the first objective on our leaderboard. Hey, and there's an Artie bow, so that's a pretty good weapon if you want to use Archer Rosa or Archer Cecil.
Yeah, that turns Rosa into a serious weapon right now with those Samurai arrows or Artie arrows and that Artie bow. I think we have a couple other pieces of strength here that we could put on her if we wanted to. But also with the Artie bow, we should be able to get Rosa to go first with the right party setup, even without cursing Kain, which is pretty huge. Start the fight off berserking somebody.
Yeah, getting a berserk, a slow, or a blink off on the first turn is like it could be the difference between winning or losing fights sometimes.
Especially as we mentioned earlier, that Cave Bahamut fight, with how punchy it is, being able to start immediately with Rosa casting a blink on someone important. Alright, Soleras about to get the news about Wyvern. We'll see how he feels about trying to take this on. Well,
and
not going to be able to take it on without HP, though.
Yeah, that was the same thing that happened to Nightdew. Went in with all the party members at 1 HP, got digested. Ooh, but Soleras not going back. Wants to wait until later. So Nightdew able to do all of the Fey March in one go, while Soleras is going to have to return there unless he is able to complete the other 4 objectives before wanting to return.
Which is definitely possible.
Yeah.
Depending on what this pan gives us, we might end up with Soleras forging, finding Odin, and doing those moon spots, and completely skipping that Wyvern. While Nightdew skips the forge and does the other 4. That would be interesting. I don't think we've seen a lot of that in these tournament races. Is runners doing different objectives.
Soleras now going into the Dwarf Cave, which is going to give him his 5th character in Rotha. And we know it's going to be the Elements, followed by the Alt Gauntlet to get the Luca key, while Nightdew is heading over to my favorite town of the game, Tomra.
Yeah, do a little bit of shopping, see if we can find. I'm actually not sure what he's shopping for at this point. We have good arrows, we have cursed rings. I wouldn't mind ninja hats. That would be a good thing to pick up. Tiara's fine.
Very good defense. It doesn't really help Rose's casting, but good physical and magic defense on that tiara. So definitely an upgrade from the cap that she was wearing.
That is definitely true.
And Nightdew denies us by not checking the job dwarf while in Tomra, but
how rude.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean that's a realistic thing as far as top level racing. They're not gonna walk all the way up to that little room to talk to that dwarf. I would, but then I got eliminated last round. So yeah, what you gonna do?
If I go there to loot anyway, I will check the job dwarf. Otherwise, generally no. And with all the looting we've done in this seed, I don't think we're looting much anymore.
No, they've got pretty decent gear for all the party members necessary. I think maybe an upgrade. That might have been what he was. He might have been looking for ninja swords in the shops. That would be a bit of an upgrade for Edge. And I don't think Nightdew went back to Mist and bought the long swords that Soleras did. I could be wrong though. Like I said, we missed some things. I'm not exactly sure what Edge is equipped with on Nightdew's side.
Soleras pulling double silver hammers as a reward for that fight. That is a pretty rare drop, but not where you'd like to get a rare drop.
Yeah, there's more useful drops you can get in other fights, but yeah, silver hammer. Just like Maxwell. So here we are. Nightdew about to finish this sealed cave, see what the item is, and then check the boss as well. We get the pass, which is a very useful item, but not technically a key item and not technically progression.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nightdew reset out of this if it's not the boss, not Odin. Yeah. I mean the time, since we're probably getting go mode from either the Crystal Sword Altar or defeating Odin at the bottom of the moon, the pass doesn't have a ton of value unless you do have to come back to Earth to get your crystal. And the time it saves you when we're going back to the moon, it's about the time you're going to spend doing that boss fight and walking back out of Sealed Cave.
Looks like there's still some armor, maybe black belts or something. We see Charm Claw, or I think Cat Claw is available, but Nightdew has ditched Yang, so that shop not yielding what Nightdew was looking for.
I don't hate underground armor shopping in their position. Like you said, black belts would be really nice. Headbands would be pretty good, or bandanas. Ninja hats would be nice. With a cane anchor, getting to make everyone else faster is always good. And maybe the weapon shop for ninja swords specifically, since he didn't pick up those long swords.
Nightdew now about to check Sheila 1, cannot check Sheila 2 because Nightdew has not completed Cave Magnus, which yields that plan. So only going to have one key item check over here in Pool. And with that Mount Bomb at the top of tower, if I'm Nightdew, I might be thinking it's time to go to the moon. What are your thoughts on that, Sorgus?
I mean, Fade Harp. I would absolutely go to the moon here. you have 2 guaranteed objectives up there, and you're looking for a boss and some terminal key items, and Moon is a good place to find all of those things.
We did get an Earth Crystal, though. The characters aren't really all that important. There is a key item check there, and there is the treasury. If Nightdew is looking for gear for one of his characters, going into that treasury might be something that he wants to do. If he decides to go to and complete Zat, though, he's committing a sin that I commit far too often, and that's taking the red airship to Tutoria, and that just messes you up later in the scene.
Well, the
From
good
my
news
experience.
is we already
doesn't have the pass.
reset out of the pass, so yeah, that's not going to be as big of a problem. I do like checking this treasury, though. Although, I'm unhappy with this treasury now that we've checked it.
There's a ninja hat. A protect ring's pretty good. A ribbon's pretty good. Power rib's very good. No weapons for edge, but I believe there was a drain sword and a ninja star, so we've got some dartables. But I think if he was looking for stuff for edge, then that's not ideal. Meanwhile, it looks like Soleras interested in grinding on a few doors.
I think we're taking maybe just the one door to slingshot Rosa
That could
and get her
definitely
started.
be here.
You're in Sealed Cave already. You might as well. Yeah, I should get Rosa to Berserk and Blink.
Yeah, it looks like Nightdew is moonward bound.
Yeah, Soleras just taking the one door to get Rosa going, and then I imagine going up top side to check your. Oh no, he's going to do Sealed Cave. Okay, that makes sense too. Wanting the levels before you go into that boss fight potentially.
Yeah, and since you can't exit out, you can't just walk the way down to the save point and then reset if you don't do it. Walking out makes a lot of sense, and saving again due to the lack of exit. Nightdew now going back to Cape Bahamut, ready to take on that play.
Yeah, he should not have too much of a problem with this. Having the 2 Berserk casters and being able to set up his agility with his cane pretty well.
And now with an Artie or Artie Samurai arrow, Rosa, you can get the Berserk up really fast, and then Berserk Rosa herself, since Plague is a flyer, the arrows do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Cecil already Avengered. Yeah, this will be pretty straightforward.
Soleras getting the news that it's a pass. I imagine a similar logic to Nightdew will probably reset out of this fight when seeing it's Rubicant. Also worth noting, Rubicant here is actually really scary. This is not. I think it's one of the scariest locations for Rubicant to be found. That spot has really high magic.
Yeah, I would agree. It makes it nearly impossible to just fight Rubicant there unless you've already done a grind or something. So those fire 2 counters will do a ton of damage. Not to mention, 7,000-8,000 damage glares.
Now, Soleras going back to the overworld, I imagine is going to head over to the pool, and this is going to be where we're going to find out if that music was super worthwhile, because this is going to be basically the end of that chain. Or I guess continuation if it's like Baron Key or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Soleras really needs this to be something required. Either an item that gates the Odin boss or have a forge. Otherwise, I think he is fairly far behind. Baron's 2 boss checks. We know the boss we started with. but there's the the other boss on the throne, and then the basement throne boss.
Right. Yeah. The one we started with was Dark Knight Cecil, so definitely not Odin. But 2 more chances for Odin could be big. Like if that has Odin and half of Forge, then that's a huge advantage for Soleras. If it's got neither of those, then that was just time that Soleras spent in Cave Magnus. That's not worthwhile. Ooh, Excalibur. We're still getting good gear for our really strong boys up in with the sword.
Yeah, that Excal is huge. Cecil was walking around with just an Avenger prior to that, which meant Kane didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, but to be fair, Kane's been anchoring pretty hard in some of these fights. So now, if he doesn't need to have that cursed gear and cursed ring and the drain spear equipped, he'll be able to do significant damage with the Avenger, while Cecil can swing that Excalibur and still take use of his cover ability if necessary. So this kind of just makes it like the options a lot more flexible for Nightdew now. Looks like Soleras is going to go to Zot. Yeah, that's going to be another divergence here. This is another play that could benefit Soleras if this yields something important. Meanwhile, Nightdew got objective number 2 complete, knows that objective number 4 is available for him. So, and there's a lot of bosses up here that could be Odin.
Yeah, 5 boss checks at this point. And one of them is a spot we have to go to anyway. If Odin's just sitting at this Crystal Sword altar, that is go mode.
Yeah, but it looks like Mirasame altar is first on the docket for Nightdew, going with a traditional top down. It looks so. We're going to see what this yields first. It is kind of awkward that Crystal Altar is kind of in the middle of everything, but here's a free fight, so like no harm, no foul going here first.
Yeah, we're gonna sit here for this for sure. I think he might have reset out of this if it wasn't something fairly free and easy,
Maybe.
like the King Queen Eblin. With the idea being that if Odin's not down there, you got to go back to Earth anyway, and you can just hit this if it's something hard, check before you go back to Earth.
Question in the chat: where was Wyvern? Wyvern was in the Vanilla Ashura spot.
And Soleras does know where it is. He just opted to wait till he had some more power, and we'll be going back later for it, we assume.
Yeah. And we've gotten Valvolus up here in the Vanilla Magus spot.
For counting French vanilla, I think we're up to 6 vanillas now.
Without a doubt. And I did see at least a Drain Spear, I think, go on Kane before this fight. Making like Kane in a similar spot that Nightdew has been using him in this anchor position because of all the options that we've been given throughout this. Like you can make him a powerhouse Kane, you can make him an anchor Kane, and basically whatever's best for the situation you can prep for it. So Kane proving very versatile in this seed today.
Yeah, I think with the Edge and Cecil putting out enough damage, you feel pretty okay sacrificing your Kane to have good agility.
And Nightdew finding that weapon for Edge that we think it was, Full Moon Middle, he was definitely looking for Edge weapons. So, now gets a Meth Mune, very good weapon for Edge, and he's in much better shape to do a lot of damage for the rest of this season. Doesn't have to rely on darts, can be swinging his sword now.
Yeah, that was a good pickup in that sword. French vanilla sword, too. Wrong sword, but that is a sword altar.
That's true. We got Yang and Porum. I don't think Soleras is going to be interested in either of them. Oh, I spoke too soon. He does not want Tella, he wants Yang.
Yeah, we have Bacchus wines. I like picking up another Berserker. Especially if your plan at this point is to make Kane an anchor, you end up with 3 solid Berserkers in Yang, Edge, and Cecil, anchored by your Drain Spear, Curse Drain Kane.
Can't say I always support picking up young, but I definitely understand. There is the pale dim. That is not any flavor of vanilla.
Nope. What's the opposite of vanilla? 'Cause this is a moon boss. This isn't even from the right part of the game.
Like green cheese ice cream.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
And now Nightdew, on the way to the crystal altar, has already gone across an invisible bridge, which eluded me on my first playthrough as a kid, but is going to be rewarded with this crystal sword boss check, and eventually objective number 4. It is not Odin, it is Ashura.
Yeah, sure. Swapping spots with Wyvern.
Yeah, without a doubt. Looks like gonna employ the double star veil plan. Was that the magma key? Ooh, that's not cool.
That is not what you wanted to see. Although that does give Soleras 10 key items now.
I mean, that's not nothing. Gonna check this gated shop in Baron. That Governor Spear is something that they were looking for early game, but not really what they want right now.
Yeah, that is not what you need at the moment. I think Soleras was hoping for some strength gear in that armor shop.
Yeah, quite possibly. Now we see the double star veil strategy here. Plus, I believe switching to mute arrows on Rosa. Ashura, of course, is a mage type boss, and so mute dagger, mute arrows, elven bow, rune axe all deal 4 times damage to Ashura. The double star veil ensures that any healing magic that Ashura casts on herself will be reflected to the team. All that's left that's scary are her counterattacks, but we see some blink, we see image there on edge, so we've got some ways to mitigate that. You don't really care if Tela goes down so much.
Yeah, Tela's strength is not in gaining levels.
But having Rosa be knocked down like that is not what Nightdew wanted. Probably wanted Rosa to get these experience points, but we'll settle for objective number 4 being completed, which means Nightdew is only 1 objective away from go mode. Crystal Ring.
And another song.
Very nice
Interesting.
Nice piece of gear, though.
Yeah, we are making this Rosa extremely fast. I am here for this.
The sparkle on the crown on the throne over on Soleras means this should be Ogopogo, right? Yeah,
Yep.
that was the only one that was left.
The moon is definitely leaking today. All the moon bosses on Earth. Should be through this over pretty quickly.
Yeah, I imagine so. This isn't a spot that has a ton of hit points,
or attack power, or magic, or really much of anything.
Yeah, it's not a scary spot.
Right, yeah, chat pointing out. Oh, go ahead.
I just said Nightdew arriving at the pit stop save point, the final one in the game. But it's kind of a nice place to set up as your home base while checking these last 3 boss spots as well.
Yeah, I think we might see Nightdew start resetting out of bosses that aren't Odin, at least initially.
I can see that. He might want to take him for the experience, just to get like some more levels on Rosa. Because other than that, he's pretty close to what he needs to do to be ready for Zemus. Rosa needs some levels, though. And you can kind of see this by him taking this Baigen fight here instead of resetting out of it.
Yeah, this spot specifically not worth a ton of XP. We might see him reset out if this is not a key item of any value.
He might be looking for any key item. That's reasonable. He also might want to check to see if it's any key item to get towards that 10 key item point for the double experience, because he's still a bit shy of Soleras' count. Soleras did get the pink tail from the Baron check, and is now going into the basement to see if Odin is in his vanilla location.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for all this vanilla, so I'm hoping this is where Odin is.
No,
Oh,
that
it
is
Jan.
not. That's not Odin. That is Jan.
So the bad news, I think for Soleras at this point is our forge is probably on the moon or through something on the moon. I think it has to be at this point, actually.
It could be like tower key, or like no one's checked keyless tower, so that's something that's out there. And with Mom Bob at the top, I don't think Soleras is going to be super stoked to go there. I imagine he's going to be going to the moon here, but I've been wrong multiple times. Another Zonk at that spot gets a strength ring for Nightdew. It doesn't look like he's resetting. Looks like he wants to keep that strength ring for Cecil. And no, I was wrong. Soleras going to keyless tower.
I think based on what we now know from what Nightdew has done, oh, well, sorry, Riven Room has 2 checks, so there's space for one more Zonk. I was going to say, these last 2 checks have to be Tower Key and half a Forge, but we get one more Zonk in us, maybe.
Okay, Leviathan here is not... Like, there's a lot of bosses who are a lot scarier in this spot than Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan's not too bad. The spot's medium punchy and medium magic strength, but it has a lot of HP.
Well, Soleras might be here just to steal Sirens as well, because looks like he's gone into the alert fight here with opening every chest on the way, so looks like that might be the game that he's playing. We'll see if after this, if he continues to climb the tower or if he retreats.
Yeah, you have 10 key items on Soleras' side, so maybe you're thinking, I'm here, I'll just do my grind before I go to the moon.
Yeah, just oh,
that's interesting.
That's not something you see every day.
I'm not sure I've seen damage done to a corpse before. That's just free enterprise things.
Absolutely, yeah. Yang has a real contempt for Rosa, it seems, even when she's knocked out. But of course, knocking out all the other characters so that you don't need to wait through every other character's menu to get to Edge. Just sneak. It just makes this fight so much faster.
Yeah, the only way to make this more efficient is to use an hourglass and stop the alert. So you don't get that little pop-up every time it takes a turn, but without being able to buy hourglasses, that's kind of a big ask on these flags.
And
should be through this Leviathan fight pretty soon here.
Yeah, and before that happens, I want to take a time to shout out our restream team today. We do have Psychonaut on the restream and Stoppable Force on the tracking. Big shout outs to them, because if they're not here, we do not have a show. And so thank you for providing us with this restream tonight, guys.
And thank you to Rex Rawl for being in the booth with me to watch this race. It's been exciting. This has been a fun race. This
has been fun. It's been an interesting race because they were given so many tools at the beginning, but they were also thrown some considerable challenges, especially along that hook route. So I think those are the things that really makes it fun. It looks like Soleras not continuing up Keyless Tower. Instead, he is going to grind with those eggs that he just found. So ready to go. And it would be remiss of me not to say thank you to Sorbius for joining me in the booth as well.
Looks like Ribbon Rim gave us the Legend Sword and his Zonk, I believe. I was busy watching Soleras' screen and I didn't catch the other item. An Artie Bow. Okay, thank you, chat. So the tower key is either here at Ogopogo spot, or it's at the top of tower. And the adamant is either here or tower key.
Or in the tower room, like it could be behind tower.
Oh, it's true. It could be behind the bomb. Yes. Golbez at Ogopogo. Not the worst place for Golbez, because he will kill himself pretty quickly here. This fight is just very time consuming. But having not found Odin, you pretty much have to do it.
Yeah, does like that means Odin is either in that tower room or on the giant? Have we seen every other boss fight spot? Correct me or fill me in if I'm missing.
Yeah, because we took the hook route. Soleras did Zot. Yeah, it's just the
faced-
cannon room and the giant. It'll be interesting to see, depending on what this Golbez gives, what Nightdew does next. Because he has not seen what's in Zot.
Ooh,
So if this isn't adamant, if this is the last zonk and it's tower key from top of tower into adamant in the tower room, do we see Nightdew go to the giant to look for Odin?
well, there's still lots of places. Remember, there's a lot of zonks basically on the blue planet that Soleras has worked through that Nightdew is kind of skipped. So there's a lot of places on the blue planet that Nightdew could go before stumbling on the tower. That's like if this yields the tower key, then I think there's a good chance that he'll go to tower. But if this is neither adamant nor tower key, then that could be what Soleras needs to get back into this.
That's true, yeah. If Nightdew just walks back everything that Soleras has just done, that is a way that Soleras could catch up some time, especially since Soleras has his levels now.
And Golbez is asking why this fight is over. Nightdew has cleared the moon, and we will see what this yields. That's the Sand Ruby.
Oh, we forgot about a key item. So it's tower key into adamant from the top of tower. Interesting.
But Nightdew still has like Cave Magnus outstanding for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you assume one of two things about the Twin Harp. Either your opponent faded it, just like you, and it's nothing. Well, actually, if you assume your opponent faded it and they're not done yet, maybe you assume it has value because they're not done yet.
It's tough with because you're still going like it's keyless tower. I don't know. Well, Nightdew not using exit. I think Nightdew is going to cash in a siren on some gold dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, up to the 10 key items now. So yeah, looks like gonna cash in, get some King Ryus, and going to get some additional experience here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We also saw him switch to Artie arrows on Rosa specifically to do this. These are dragons, so 4 times damage is pretty important here.
And Soleras making very short work of Wyvern.
Yeah. Ooh, so now the question is, Soleras has done everything on the blue planet except Helix Tower. So does he go there before the moon, or does he just go to this moon now?
If I'm Soleras, I have to assume the moon is a dud, because my opponent's not done yet, and I've wasted all of this time on Earth. So I would check at the Helix Tower before going to the moon. Also, I would feel pretty committed to clearing the Earth before going.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel committed to clearing the Earth too. If I've gone this long, I'd probably just do Keyless Tower. But he is heading to the moon. I guess he wants to get his objectives out of the way that he knows that are out there. Um, like that, like he could be hoping that that Crystal Sword altar is where or is where Odin is. And for all Soleras knows, Nightdew might have had problems with that Kinatsu fight as well. So I like if I'm Soleras, I can't help but feel behind after how rough Kinatsu did. But there's always going to be that shred of hope that maybe my opponent had problems with it too, because it is a notoriously difficult fight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if I'd taken a single wipe, maybe I assume my opponent is in the same shoes. With the amount of wipes that Soleras took to that, I would assume I was behind.
Yeah,
And I would want to make sure that I'm not wasting any more time than I've already lost. Because we know that Adamant is at the top of the tower. Which obviously Soleras doesn't know, but if he had gone, had the Adamant go to the moon, you go down and do your objectives, you do Ribbon Rim because it's 2 checks, and then you have go mode. Or Odin is just in the super cannon, and then you have go mode.
so right now, Nightdew is going to go back to the blue planet, and I believe has 2 checks that he could go to, and that's either Cave Magnus or Keyless Tower. Keyless Tower, he knows has Mom Bomb at the top.
I don't think he did Zot either.
Oh yeah, he's got Zod as well. Yes. So the question is, which one of those locations does Nightdew go to? Um, if he goes to Magnus and Zot, then that's going to take a lot of time because presumably that's going to lead towards Baron as well. So that's a lot. That's a long chain they could go to it. It looks like he's flying towards Toria.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna go do Zot. It makes sense. It's 2 boss checks. You have half a forge. It's a single. You're looking for a single key item.
Now this is where it could. This is the red airship to Toria to Zot. If I think this means that Nightdew does not want to go to Cave Magnus at all, and will go to Keyless Tower after. Or it could just be like me and make a mistake and do Zot with the red airship just sitting there.
Yeah, we'll see if we see the Walk of Shame after we're done with this Zot. At this point, though, he can take the bird from Baron from that Jungle Forest there and fly over.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
But that requires remembering that you parked your red airship at Troya when you come out in Baron after doing Zot, so we'll see. I'm really interested to see what Soleras does on this moon now.
This has been fascinating. I mean, like Nightdew had a huge lead, but the moon did not pay off with everything that he needed, and so as how long he checks things that Soleras already zonked out on versus Soleras, because I imagine like Soleras has to basically pull clear the moon now, looking for that Odin. He might reset out of fights, but it's still at least base checking everywhere, right?
Yeah. And taking
guess...
the line I was thinking of and skipping the Mura spot, because if it's Odin down at the bottom of the moon, then you're just going anyway. And then if it's not, I guess you should peek the boss and reset out of it if it's not Odin. I don't know why we didn't check that, but he may be assuming that Odin isn't here again, since Nightdew isn't finished yet.
It's a hard one to juggle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is one of those seeds where you just have to kind of play the seed and not try and figure out what your opponent did or didn't do, because everything has been so spread out and all of the chains have been so convoluted that, you would never guess what they had done or hadn't done.
So Soleras definitely wanted to come down here and check the objectives and hasn't really been going anywhere else yet. The question is, once he defeats uh, this fight here and gets that objective complete, what's his next play? 'Cause I think it's doing more moves. 'Cause I think that's what makes the most sense right now. But like, it might be his move. Like, of course, this is us knowing more than Soleras does, but it might be the best move for him to go to the Giant.
Yeah,
Well,
like
oh,
face check the
the
rest of
keyless
the
tower, of
moon
course.
and then just go to the giant to look for the boss.
Yeah, because it seems like he doesn't want to do keyless tower. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even playing the seed, and I don't want to do that keyless tower.
Nightdew now completing Tower of Zot. And is that what gave Baron Key?
No, Baron Key was from the pan.
That was from the pan. Okay. Oh yeah. Thanks, Stoppable Force, our tracker today, reminding us it was the Magma Key. So this is definitely a Zonk for Nightdew, which leaves him with just Cave, Magnus, and Keyless Tower.
Yeah, and as we pointed out, Soleras' only hope, I think, at this point is that Nightdew decides to do Harp, assuming Soleras faded it.
Yeah.
Because with the perfect information we have, we know Tower Key is at the top of Tower and leads to Adamant.
Right.
And potentially Odin.
Oh, he's going Magnus.
Okay. We got a race again. I appreciate our runners doing everything they can to keep this race exciting.
Yeah, this is fascinating. So we know that this Magnus check will lead to the Pan, which will lead to the Baron Key, which leads to basically nothing. So this is a lot of time for Soleras, and it looks like Soleras had to take a reset. Oh no, his face checking bosses now.
Yeah, we'll probably see him finish Leviathan. Nope, gonna check Ogo for Odin first. Okay.
Yeah, Soleras doesn't have. Is that right? The Soleras doesn't have either part um of the
No,
forge.
the Legend Sword was from the Ribbon Room, and the Adamant
Right.
is in the tower we know behind the Tower Key.
So for Soleras, with neither side of that, might be thinking, and this might also be more playing in Nightdew hasn't finished yet. Probably figures the forge is off the table. I just need to find Odin as quickly as possible. So, yeah, probably gonna face check that Mira altar next, or Mira altar next, and then I think it would be such a great move. Like, it would be really exciting if he decides to go to the giant and it turns out Odin is there. That'd be insane. Well, I shouldn't say that. I should say that would be a really um, a really neat twist for us to watch. But we're gonna get a reprise of that music from earlier. So DJ Spoony B, we'll be a little quiet for you as you play it again.
Soleras going
Soleras,
go.
yeah, you go ahead.
Nightdew making short work of those guards, and Soleras getting the good news about that ninja sword.
Ooh, now is going back. Just had a save back and gonna now check that Leviathan. Um, I I think this is bad news for Soleras because once he defeats it, he's gonna get that Legend Sword, and that may mean all those bosses that he just face checked. He might actually try to beat them to see if he can get that out of it.
Maybe. I could see if you feel like you're behind, deciding not to do Golbez specifically, and
Yeah,
gamble on it being top of tower instead. Just make that your, hill to die on, so to speak. But I'm certain he will do the White Spear altar after snagging the Legend Sword. So it's right there, and it doesn't have that much HP.
and Nightdew zips past the tower to go to cash in that pan, and looks like he's at least going to start this chain. If you're committing to this, I imagine you're going to go and do Sheila 2 before going to Keyless.
I'm just imagining Odin leaning out the window with the pan in hand, just wave, or the adamant in hand, just waving it around like, "Hey guys, over here! Hey,
Yeah.
wait, okay, bye."
So now
Yeah, I think
Soleras passed
yep,
the legend.
right over the White Spear. Personally, I would fade that Golbez. I would leave a save here, and I would fade that Golbez. We'll see if Soleras is of a similar mind.
Nightdew zipping past that tower one more time. Tries to land, like as I so frequently do, next to the exit of the underworld. Now going to go check Sheila 2, which is going to give that Baron key. And so, yeah, this is... Oof, this is...
Like I said a minute ago, we have a race again.
I think this race is absolutely fascinating. Like, I think, like, if almost any boss other than Mom Bomb was at the top of tower, I think
Oh,
at least
yeah.
one of them would have made the play to Keyless Tower by now. But Mom Bomb is such an annoying fight. And so I can't blame the runners for not wanting to do that fight. But whoever goes there first is basically got it now, I'd say. I think there was a window where Soleras could have made the play to go to the giant, and if was lucky and found Odin, could have crawled from behind. But I think that time has passed.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, he probably has time to go do Golbez, maybe. But he certainly needs to get to top tower as fast as possible. And also I think Soleras has figured out, more or less what we figured out, that no, he's doing Golbez. We are sizing up. We're sizing down?
Shrinking up.
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that.
But yeah, that is definite prep for Golbez.
Yeah, casting the shrink spell on our whole party. They're all cheaper now. Wait, that's the wrong game.
Different game. So yeah, getting all prepped up for the Golbez. The reasoning for that, if you haven't seen Free Enterprise before, is that status effects work on a hierarchy in this, and if you've got one effect on you that's a higher hierarchy than the one that's trying to be placed on you, it doesn't hit. And so, since they are sized, they cannot be held by the hold gas, which means as soon as the dragon goes through its sequence of killing 3 party members, you can act, and you don't need to wait for all of the nonsense in between there to get ready. And that could be getting your star veils up, and you know they're going to get up before Golbez starts doing his powerful magic.
Interestingly, too. Oh, never mind. The ribbon was not on Cecil. I thought Cecil had the ribbon, and the first Demolish tried to kill him. But it's on somebody.
I think it's on Rosa, but I could be. Oh. Our tracker stoppable agrees with me. Thinks it's on Rosa.
I mean, another way to handle this Golbez would be to have put Ribbon and Crystal Ring on Cecil, pop a Star Veil, and then switch to the Avenger, and just let Excal Avenger Cecil go through this Golbez real quick. Golbez weak to Holy.
Yeah, weak to Holy and Fire, and high magic power here, as we saw that Lit 3 doing upwards of quad 9's damage. Not quite there, but that does mean that he helps defeat himself really quickly once you got that Star Veil up. The 1 damage from the tiny edge punching is enough for Golbez to ask why.
Why indeed?
Unfortunately, this is a Zon.
Yeah, we have the reset. That makes sense. And now we are going straight to top of tower on Soleras' side because he has nothing else to check.
And Nightdew is going to do this and has to face check that boss at the bottom of Baron.
I think we're going to have both of our... Okay.
Top of tower now. Going to heal up. Might be. I believe Nightdew is out of cabins, so is healing up at this dwarf pot, and then both of our runners are beelining towards the tower. They both know that that's the only place that could be the key item.
Yeah, they both have that same knowledge now. We are, Soleras just a few seconds behind getting into the tower.
We are in for a spicy finish here.
It's Soleras double checking his key items. Yeah, bud, this is where you gotta go. You're going to see
really
dueling Zeromus fights too, I think. This is going to be an intense finish to this race.
This is, I think, this is a testament to both of our runners. Nightdew for basically full clearing this seed, and Soleras for being able to catch up by picking and choosing when to do things after that really rough time that he had on the hook round. Like both of them, like displaying some real good skill throughout this entire race. This has been a pleasure to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And they're two runners too that play a lot together casually. I also play with the two of them quite a bit casually, so they know each other's tendencies, and I think that's played in a little bit to how the seed is played out. I think against a lot of other people, we would not have seen Soleras do that twin harp early.
Sure. But here we are in the Mom Bomb fight, all leveled up, even with the extra boost to health and the fact that this is a pretty high HP location. I wouldn't be surprised if our runners are able to take down Mom Bomb before.
Yeah, with Cecil hitting for 5,000 of that Excal, I think you just get out of his way and let him take care of this. I think the spot has about, is it 18,000? 28,000? Plus the 10 for Mom Bomb?
I don't pretend to have any stats from this game memorized. Maybe Chat can help you out better than I can on that one.
It's less than the Ruby spot. I know that.
Sure. Soleras first through, Nightdew right behind. We are basically at the same time. Now Nightdew just a few seconds behind.
Soleras taking that fight a little more efficiently, just putting the Excal on Cecil and the Avenger and not taking any other actions. Yeah, let's see if it's Odin. It is not Odin, so Odin is on the Giant somewhere.
Wow. I think Odin Odin here would have been a lot more interesting to think. Do you go straight to Zemus, or do you forge and try to get like Abel's lance for Cain?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't know if he would forge or not. I don't think I would. We got, Massa Long Edge on Soleras' side and an Excal Avenger Cecil. I mean, sure, an Abel's Lance Kane would be nice, but it's not going to make or break your Z fight at this point.
Nightdew still has Cain cursed. I can tell because that elemental attack that was done healed Cain. Interesting thing about the curse ring: if you have an elemental resistance piece of gear and the curse ring, you actually absorb that thing. So, like, have any piece of dragoon gear along with the curse ring, and you get to absorb elementals. You don't see a lot of elemental absorption in Final Fantasy IV. It's just not something that comes up too often. That's one of the few ways you can make it work.
Yeah, turns out most of the bosses don't do elemental damage, except for a handful. Rubicant and Leviathan, most notably, I think.
And, even, a lot of them have some things too, like Mylon does lit ones and things like that. But other than the curse ring, there isn't really a way to absorb elements for your characters in Final Fantasy IV. So,
yes. Yeah, absorbing, resisting, etc. are very weird mechanics in this game. Alright, we are going to go Forge, because we didn't find Odin. Maybe the Forge shop is enough incentive, even if that was Odin to come Forge?
possibly, but is there anything they're really looking for at this time? They're
Power
pretty
shirts,
geared
really?
out. Yeah, I guess so.
And there's Abel's Lance.
Yeah, I think the question, especially on Nightdew, who's been really utilizing that cursed cane to really have his agility situation well in hand, is the power of Abel's lance enough to want to zerk up Kane as well? Or do you just rely on what you've been doing that's been so successful throughout the rest of the seed?
A great way to kill Zeromus is to just do absolutely ridiculous amounts of damage. So
popping a siren to sell a silk web. I happen to know, I saw earlier in the inventory, Nightdew does have one silk web in his inventory already. So
yeah, well, there's one looted somewhere.
Yeah, so that's a little extra time that Soleras had to take here. And so Nightdew has now made up those couple of seconds and then some because of that. And it's going to be first on the way to the moon as they both noped out of the pass, so they both have to take that long walk down the lunar subterrane to get to the final fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think Soleras might have a little bit of a speed advantage in the Zeromus fight if Nightdew still goes in with Kane Cursed.
Right. It's definitely more firepower if you don't curse Kane. But like, your agility situation is rock solid with that curse ring brain spear combination that we've seen Nightdew use on so many bosses throughout the seed.
Yeah, I mean, your agility situation is pretty solid also with a Silk Web and 4 Berserkers, so...
True.
Especially with an Avenger in the equation.
Yeah, the Avenger helps a lot. Soleras did take time a little bit earlier in the seed, and I imagine has a Bacchus or two still in the inventory. Nightdew never stole the Bacchuses. I don't know if he has any, but he still has Tellus, so he's got two characters who can cast Berserk.
Yeah, it's just a little bit slower to do it that way. It's going to be right down to the wire. This is an exciting finish.
Yeah, I think, like, my thought is, like, Nightdew has a safer setup, like a more reliable setup in general, but Soleras has the potential to be much faster, provided everything works the way that he wants it.
Yeah, he will need to check Kane's agility before the fight and maybe equip a Dwarf Axe or something on him to start off.
Yeah.
To try to hit one of those agility breakpoints. But I'm pretty sure Kane is somewhere in the 30s, so his agility is probably already pretty good.
Yeah, if it's on the lower end of the 30s, then he's probably fine as is. Otherwise, you might want that.
Oh,
33 agility. I think that's pretty good.
Be a little bit better if you took off that crystal ring, but
Yeah, maybe.
28 is one of those magic numbers.
Yeah.
But the rest of his party is fast enough that I think 33 is fine. It'd be interesting to see who gets the Avenger in Soleras' fight. I assume Kane is going to get it.
Looks like he just switched to a mute dagger.
I think he just needed to put anything in his hand, because Abel's Lance, I believe, gives you agility.
Well, it's time to ask a question that our community loves to ask. Do you want to ask it tonight, Sorbius?
Sure. So we can't move Zeromus around. All we can do is give him different sprites, give him cool outfits to put on. So let's find out which rump we're going to thump tonight.
Absolutely. It is but time. Once that crystal is used, Zemus will be transformed into a form that is killable. It'll have a random sprite. The script does not change. Zemus is the same old Zemus you know from classic Super Nintendo Final Fantasy II. At least that's the one that I knew. But we will see what happens. Nightdew enters the fight first, Soleras right behind, and we have got one heck of a finish here, folks.
Come on, whose butt? Will it have a butt? Will it be a cute butt? All these questions and more at 11.
We've got a door. We saw Soleras take a door fight earlier in the seed. This is a meaner, nastier version of that.
Yeah, this high-res door is terrifying. I do not like it.
It definitely looks like it wants to eat everyone and everything.
And I always thought those things sticking out of it were like antenna or something, but I guess they're spears embedded in its forehead.
Well, I mean, Kane is in your party when you fight the trapdoors in the vanilla game. And yeah, these Bacchus coming out for Soleras. Had 2 left in the inventory. Very nice. Here comes the big bang over on Nightdew's side. Tella already on the ground.
Yeah, Tella took that counter nuke, which was kind of his job.
Yeah, that's pretty ideal, I'd say, for Nightdew.
Yeah, we are absolutely murdering the Zeromus on both sides.
Pretty similar levels, too. It's the different ways that they got to these is interesting, but they ended up right around the same power level as far as levels go. There is an extra character that can do damage over on Soleras' side, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to make the difference, or if the fact that Nightdew got in this earlier is going to take it for him. It is super close.
It's going to depend on whether the extra character clogging the queue means that Soleras doesn't get another big bang.
Sure.
And or gets to skip a medio or something that takes up time, with animations. I mean, I think we're really down to that point where, saving 5 seconds on a medio animation is going to be the determining factor in this Zeromus fight, in this race.
Really could be. There's the full-powered Big Bang. I believe a Cure 4 already queued up over on Nightdew's side to recover from it.
Yeah, no need to nerf this party.
No, you can just tank it. Throw another Cure 4 in between the next Big Bang as well if necessary. You can see it looks like Edge didn't get fully healed there, but still have plenty of MP on Rosa, so just throw out another Cure 4 and it seems good. Seeing huge damage numbers from that X-Cal Cecil over on Soleras' side.
Yeah, the 5 and 6,000 damage hits are just flying over here. And
Oh,
that
there's the
is
flash.
the flash for Soleras. I
Wow.
am speechless. What a finish.
Oh, and I believe we're joined by Soleras now. Sorry, we're we're
Stunned,
catching our breath in the
frankly.
booth. We've got I can only imagine what's going through your head after a race like that. So why don't we just start with your overall thoughts? Oh, and GG's, congrats on your win and the fact that you're moving on. But what a finish! Oh, do we actually have Soleras?
Am I here now? Okay, great. Sorry about
You are
that.
here
Okay.
now.
My heart is still in my throat. Oh wow. Also, GG's to Nightdew. Holy cow. Oh, it's been 15 minutes for me, and I'm still not sure how to conjure up words to describe how I feel about that seed.
We were hoping you'd buy us some time because we don't either.
You know, you ever feel like a dead man walking for like over an hour? Because that's very much how I felt after that hook route. And oh my god, GG's Nightdew.
Yes. Wow. What a seed.
What a seed. I don't know about you, but I have no words. I mean, I have words, but it's just I'm still really. That was so close.
We were talking about in the booth here how it was gonna come down to like number of animations you had to sit through in the Z fight. It was that close.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering because we were both watching, I think, in incognito mode. We were like, where the hell do I make the minute up? And I'm guessing it's just Bacchus and not
Bacchus-
casting spells. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're
Bacchus
you
up
had
really
a couple
helped.
thousand damage on me. I did not stay for the Coco shop. I was just like, I need to go. I need to go. I need to go right now.
I didn't either, but I looked at Kane's agility, like right before launching the Lunar Whale. I saw 13 I wrote down, and then I was thinking about what agility setup I could set up so that I didn't have to curse drain Kane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that mattered or helped. It honestly probably didn't, but putting him in the middle slot, the Abel's Lance has 85% accuracy. I mean, he was doing like 5.5k a swing, plus the other Zerkers. I don't know.
From here, there are kind of
Jeez.
two things right at the end. When you did the Mom Bomb fight, you just avenged your Cecil and didn't really do anything else, and you saved some time and got a couple seconds ahead from that fight. And then in Zeromus, you only had to cast 2 Cure 4s, and Nightdew had to cast a couple more, and that was a few more seconds, because your
Did you
Kane was hitting for so much more damage.
Yeah, I bothered to steal a Silk Web, which I still don't think was the right choice, but certainly at the agility I went in, I had to use it. Anyways, yeah, wow.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I remember where I got mine because it was in my whole little, hey, I win information in Baron check, and I'm like, oh, hey, look, a Silk Web. I'm just going to put this in the pocket for, the whole seed.
Oh, I thought about opening those chests, and I was like, nah. What could possibly be in these? That's always famous last words, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Well, congratulations on both of you, Nightdew for making it this far and for putting on a heck of a race today. Soleras, congrats, and you'll be moving on. Either of you have any final thoughts in as far as this race or the event in general?
Really, honestly, about the race, if I'm gonna go out, this is the kind of race I want to go out in. It's, we did everything, and I'm just, I'm running up to Zeromus. I'm watching us just before the transition in, and my clock is on 2 hours, and I'm like, how is nobody done yet?
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Yeah. Looking, I don't watch the race room. I sit on I sit on the bot, but I was ready to like get the dot done in, half an hour ago and just forfeit, honestly. So I also knew. And let this be testament that even when everything goes wrong, you still don't really want to just give up, because I certainly felt very, very behind after wiping twice to Kingatsu and being through the hook route like the hour 5 minute mark or something like that. Like that's very, 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 very slow for this flag set at this level of competition. And I still got there somehow. So, hashtag never give up, I guess. Good lord.
Sometimes both runners decide to fade a required keyless tower.
Yeah.
What was there anyway?
Well, once again, GG's to both of you. Thank you for letting us watch this incredible race today. Nightdew, I'm sure we'll see you again real soon. And Soleras, good luck in the next round.
Yep, thank you so much. Nightdew, GG's again. This was one heck of a series. I know we're very evenly matched up. This could have easily gone a very different direction or to a game 3. Just big GG's.
I was hoping for the game 3, but I
Same.
mean, just watching that first one and gonna be watching this one back. My hat's off to you, and go devour some pancakes. You got this.
I've got to get through a certain broadcloak first, but I will do my best.
All right. Well,
All right,
those are
thanks
our
so much for
racers.
putting on the restream, and thanks, y'all.
Yeah, those are our two runners today. Soleras and Nightdew, big GG's to both of them once again. Also, once again, shout out to our restream team tonight, Psychonaut on the restream, Stoppable Force, pushing the buttons for the tracking. My co-commentator, Sorbius, it was really fun watching this heck of a race with you. Right now, we are going to go ahead and send you all on over to Randomania 3, because we've got Deckard versus Rybon. Please, no spoilers in this race. They're going to want to come back and watch this one because this was so much fun, and I'm sure they're going to want to see it too. So don't spoil it for them.
No spoilers, but insist that they come and watch it because this was wild.
Yeah, and so we'll see y'all real soon. Take care. Hope you all have a great day now.
Bye.